Hi guys, welcome to today's nibble. We'll be continuing the series on PowerPoint. In particular, I'll be looking at text boxes and aspects of text boxes, and hopefully if I have enough time, and how you organize these into simple charts. Okay, let's have a look at a blank presentation. What we might do immediately is just change the aspect ratio as we've had a look before. I'm going to change it to 16:9. We've done this before, but I thought I'd just do it again. We'll insert a new slide. We'll make it a blank slide so we've got something to work on. Okay, let's insert a text box. Go to the Insert tab, go to Text Box, click on Text Box, click. The first thing can be off-putting is, in fact, when you insert a text box, you really don't see anything. You should really type into it immediately, so that you begin to see that at least you have something there. Now, I've got a text box, but it doesn't really look like a box, does it? So what we might do is actually left click on it, right click on it to have a look at the options, and we can set a number of options in the text box. What I'll do today is format the shape. I'm going to fill it with a solid fill, choosing a background color. Now it was preset to this color of yellow, but if I want any color, I simply select color. I can go to one of the theme colors, one of the standard colors, or just any color I like. A custom color specifying the RGB values, or a standard color. Set it to light blue, for example, and we have a light blue text box. I think we'll leave it at yellow for the moment. Okay. Now, other aspects of the text box that you might immediately want to change is the line color. Now, this refers to the line that bounds the text box. At present, it has no line. If you have a look, no line. Left click, right click, format shape, line color. Going to go to a solid line. We're going to use a red line, but again, I could have selected any color I wanted to do. We can set that line to be transparent to some degree or another, but I'm not going to set transparency on that. We've set the color, but we need to set the style of the line. How thick the line is, 0.75 point in this particular case. I'll set it down to 0.5, that's a slightly better line. And the line type. It can be dashed, it can be solid. Well, we're going to leave it on solid. Do close. And we've got a text box with lines. Okay, now of course this particular text box, its behavior, its text size and its behavior, if I can spell behavior, yes, its behavior is set a certain way. All of these things can be changed. Let's change the text size. Okay, well, just click on the text box, left click, go up to font. I'm going to change the font to Arial, standard font that everybody has. Going to set it down to 12 point, just depends upon your application. And I'm going to set the paragraph spacing in this particular text box to single, and maybe 6 points after each line. So if I do a carriage return, I'll get a 6-point gap in the line. Notice how the text box automatically expands at this particular case. Now, this expanded behavior can also be changed. Let's right click on the text box, go to Format Shape, left click on Text Box now, and we can change a number of characteristics of the text box. At the moment, it is vertically aligned at the top. I can set this to the middle. Text didn't move much, did it? I can set it to the bottom. No, it still didn't move much because the box isn't big enough. Well, let's just close this. Can't adjust the size of the box. Alright, so let's go back. Format the shape. Text box. I don't want to resize the shape to fit the text. I don't want to auto fit. I don't want the text to shrink if it gets bigger than the text box. I always want it to be at Arial 12 point. So what I'll do is I'll set it to auto format. And I want the text to wrap in the text box. With those two settings, I can change the text box manually. Now you'll notice that the characteristics I said, which would be aligned at the bottom, now shows up quite clearly. I can change the alignment, down we go, to the middle. I can change the alignment to the top. Okay, One other characteristic which you can change at this particular time are the internal margins. Notice there's a space between the left boundary and the text, right boundary and the text, between the top and the text, and there's one between the bottom and the text. You can change this exactly the same way. Format, text box, internal margins. Notice what happens as I change the left margin. See? Right down to 0. Increase it down to 0. Top margin, increase down to 0. Depending upon your application, often the default settings of 0.25 centimeters are quite adequate, but you can set it to whatever you want. So what we'll do is I'm going to set it to 0.1, just to be different. No good reason for it. Okay, have we done everything that we need to do? Yes, we have. I can also set this text box not to be left aligned, the text in it, but center aligned. If I add to that the characteristic after I right click on the text box of vertical alignment middle, it's center aligned and vertical aligned in the center of the box. As I change the size of the box, that will change. Now of course it happens to be not quite in the center because I've got a paragraph in there that you can't see. Right click on the text box, format the shape, go down to text box. Everything is set to where I want it to be. I'm going to set it to top. Text direction horizontal, 0.1, close. The only other thing I want to do is set it back to left justified. Okay, with these settings you can actually adjust the size of your text boxes to fit your behavior. Notice that as I type a new line, another new line, another new line, it's actually gone beyond the boundaries of the text box. That's because I set it so that it wouldn't actually automatically expand. I have to manually adjust this now. I find this a useful characteristic. Some people might not. But all of this behavior can be set here. Now one other thing that's very useful is once you've got your box the way you want it to be, you can actually set that as the default text box so that next time you insert a text box, it comes out exactly like the one you set before. Okay, I think we'll stop here with text boxes and go on to making simple charts with these text boxes next time. Thank you very much. See you later.